Hello guys, my name is Chase Estlin. I'm going to introduce our group's second video, making a well-rounded leader. So the first thing we're going to discuss is authentic leadership, and Marie's going to kick that off for us by giving us the theory behind it, and then Stephanie's going to give us a real-world example. So authentic leaders, they really have a purpose, very passionate, strong values, and really kind of stick to who they are. The second thing we're going to discuss is multi-generational and how it affects leadership and relates to strong leadership as well. So basically we're going to get into the traditionalists, the boomers, the Gen X's, millennials, and Gen Z's. And Ed's going to give us a great background on all the different types of generations. And Andy's going to back it up with a perfect real-world example that she has from a really good work-life experience. The last thing, Pat's going to go over how it's really important to have a strong legal acumen of your surroundings, the business, the nature you're working in, and also how ethics plays a role into making yourself a strong leader. Lastly, you're going to hear from Jonathan, who's going to go over our conclusion. He's going to give some great key points, kind of wrap it up for us, sum it all up, what makes a really great leader, go over the authentic leadership, the multi-generational, the legal, the ethics, and we really hope you guys enjoyed our video.
Hi, my name is Marie, and the first subject we'll be touching upon in this video is what makes a good leader. So throughout our discussions in class, several adjectives came up of what makes a good leader. So I'm going to list some of them and explain how we thought they were really important. So first one was being competent. You want to be knowledgeable in the area you're working with. You want people to be able to come to you if they do not know something and they don't know that you potentially have the answer, you'll be able to help them find that answer. You want to be reliable, and that means your followers must believe that you'll take responsibility for the group, not only for your actions. At the end of the day, if you're a leader, the responsibility comes back to you, good or bad. You should be trustworthy. Your followers and the people you work with should have complete trust that you'll do the right thing. They should have trust in the directions you give them. And to do so, what would help is to be able to show empathy. Followers really are willing to work harder and go the extra mile for their leaders if they believe their leaders care for them, for the followers as a person, not only for the worker or what the task that they're able to do. So if you're able to show empathy, then your followers are much more likely to come along and follow your vision. You should also be motivational and have a clear vision, so you can give your team a direction, and so they know what to expect, they know what they're working towards, and it should motivate them to go past the simple tasks that they have to do, and it'll help them go through the hard times. A style of leadership that can have all these characteristics I just listed would be authentic leadership. It really is a style of leadership centered around your values. So it would be very important for a leader to know your why, which we talked about in our previous video. Because if with authentic leadership, you're showing your followers you're true to yourself, you're always acting, following the same values that you display in all of your action, and that makes you competent, reliable, trustworthy, and also motivational leader. So we'll hear an example from one of my teammates.
Hello, my name is Stephanie Johnson, and I'd now like to give an example of a great authentic leader. My boss has exceptional emotional intelligence and could steer our account management team through any type of water, similar to the sailor in the painting behind me. She's remote in Chicago, but when she comes into our Tampa office, she exhibits her social skills by sitting in a cube on kind of the ground level with our operative team. She could have the choice of sitting in an executive office or a management office, but she rather chooses to sit in a cube and really focus on those social skills with the majority of our core team. She's an excellent motivator. We have Monday calls with our account management team, and she puts forward a motivational quote for the week to really keep us on course and give us some guideposts for the week. She's also very self-regulated. She has things that she does in her day-to-day work life that I think are very, very savvy from a self-regulation standpoint. She knows what distracts her. So if she's working on a very high intensity project or a high visibility project for our managers, she will turn off her Skype messaging. She'll also turn off her Outlook email, and that allows her to not be distracted and to stay on the task at hand and to really get it done efficiently and effectively and to not multitask. She's given our team tips on how not to multitask when we're all on calls together and not to be sending her emails on different topics. So very great self-regulatory skills from that perspective. She's very authentic in who she is, and she's grounded with some intrinsic values around the power of positive thinking. She's given every member of our team this book called Chop Wood, Carry Water. It's by Joshua Medcalf, and it's about a young boy who's training to become a samurai warrior. But really what this book is truly about is how to fall in love with the process of becoming great. So it does center on your why, which is a nice carryover from some of the topics we've been learning in our leadership course thus far. So all in all, I'm just thrilled to be working for the leader that I work for in my organization. She's an exceptional, great, authentic leader, and I'm glad I got to share her values with you.
The multi-generational lecture given by Michelle Norris was particularly insightful for me. The generational gap that exists between my executive director and her staff has been the cause of turbulence in my office for years. Our director is a baby boomer. She's very effective at her job, but she keeps her team members at arm's length and is uncomfortable sharing anything personal about herself. She doesn't like to encourage fraternizing at the office, for example, the staff eating lunch together, and she doesn't see the need for fun in the workplace. She shares only the information her staff needs to know about the work that they do and not the bigger picture. There's not strategic conversations. And her demeanor sets the tone in the office. She eats lunch at her desk if she eats at all, and she stays late every night, setting an unspoken expectation. Staff members have come to me seeking guidance on how best to work with her, and some have left because of her, so it's been a challenge to manage. When Debbie Norris described the classic traits of a boomer, I realized the issue was a generational gap created by life experiences of our director and not necessarily a personality trait, which makes it less personal and much easier to talk about. And we've had, since then, some really productive conversations. Our millennials and Gen Xers want inclusion and collaboration. They want to understand our strategic direction and the whys behind the decisions we make. They have great suggestions on how things can be done more efficiently and effectively and how we can improve on our services. They like each other, which is a great thing, and I want them to have fun in the office. They are a loyal, committed team, but they want work-life balance. So while this behavior is foreign to my executive director, she's been really receptive to coaching. We've been talking about emotional intelligence and about how making these changes are important for her personal awareness and growth. We've also been talking about authentic leadership. I want her to be herself, but she has to open up and let people in, be inclusive and share. But I'm really happy to say that she's been open to change and that we're making great progress.
Human Resources has a lot of responsibilities, from hiring, firing, legal, ethics, training, etc. Keeping good employees is critical for success of companies. HR works to give employees the tools to keep the company safe and retain those employees. Leadership needs to incorporate HR in all aspects of business. The following are a few examples of how HR is involved in different scenarios. Incentives is a very interesting topic when it comes to individual employees. Having a structured system is critical. Some people are very sensitive to how much they make. A good way to determine how much each employee makes for incentives is their position. People in the same position can do more or less work, but because they're in the same role, they get the same incentive and bonus. This should make the hardworking employees want the next promotion and help the company. It is important to explain your company's system so everyone understands and can plan for what they want to do for their future. Being an employee of any company comes with responsibilities. Sometimes situations arise with different opportunities, and it is important to always think ethically. Having access to sensitive data can be troublesome if you are presented with opportunities to share that data. You have to be careful because it could happen by accident. A coworker of mine once got asked by a vendor for higher up contact information, not even thinking anything was wrong with giving out, a telephone number, caused a bad situation. Giving out a simple email and telephone number put his career in jeopardy. You have to think ethically about everything you do, especially when dealing with outside resources. I have always been told, if you have any doubt, reach out to HR.
My name is Jonathan Rodriguez, and today I'm going to wrap up the previous modules that we covered to be an exceptional leader. So one of the first key points that we covered was the theory of authentic leadership, which is really all about, as a leader, having strong values that you hold to yourself each and every day, and also values that transpire down to your team to bring the best out of them. In addition to that, we talked about the theory of multi-generational understanding, which again, as a leader, really involves understanding how multiple generations coexist in your organization and really understanding the different perspectives, skills, and values they bring to the table, and learning how to understand them and how to communicate with them effectively to bring the best out of the team. Last but not least, we talked about the theory of legal knowledge in leadership, which really is all about, as a leader, understanding the business acumen behind your organization and the industry, and knowing those in order to make ethical and moral decisions that can bring the best out of you and your team and the organization as a whole. So with these 3 key points, we talked about those in a couple of real-world examples that we hope were helpful in helping you understand a little bit more about what they are. And what we really want you to do is take away from this video is really just those 3 key points. So for that, we thank you for watching this video, and we hope it helps you to understand how to be an exceptional leader. Thank you for watching.